has been wild speculation online that somebody is going to say his name and Joe Hendry is going to appear at Clash at the Castle Scotland. Also, Bret Hart speaks out about his regrets he has with WCW, and we're going to dive into all of that and much more coming up on this episode of Wrestle Digest. And there's a crazy theory coming up about Joe Hendry here, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But before we dive into it all, we got to say that 97% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you want to keep up to date on everything that's happening around the wrestling world, make sure you're down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's go into the first topic of the video today, which is Bret Hart speaks out on the WCW days. And yes, Brady, we see the quote here from Bret Hart talking about the downfall of WCW, where he said Hulk Hogan was basically the puppet master to Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff was just a prop. That's what killed WCW, and it's crazy to see now, years later, that there is still some animosity built up within Bret the Hitman Hart to come out and say that Hulk Hogan was the downfall of WCW, which, you know, isn't new news. It's kind of out there that this is why they folded and what happened, but without Hulk Hogan, we don't have wrestling what it was today, and WCW in that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, without Hulk Hogan, we don't have WWE, we don't have AEW, we don't have Ring of Honor. You know, all of these things have got their claim because Hulkamania ran wild. Now, to the point that Hulk Hogan, was the reason for the downfall of WCW. Absolutely. However, without Hulk Hogan, there would have been no WCW like it was. You know, there would have been no Monday Night War. Because, I mean, you know, Hulk Hogan, the biggest babyface in the WWF ever, maybe, ever, probably. I am a real American. You know, he was the poster child for all things that are good, and the grass is always green. But, I mean, you know, a heel turn from the Hulkster over in WCW, along with the Clique, Too Sweet, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. You know, I mean, it's just, without these guys, WCW wouldn't have reached its pinnacle. But without these guys as well, WCW may never have fallen off. But yeah. I mean, the fact that Bret Hart is still talking about this, I mean, I don't know. It's a bit controversial to me. I mean, he's still a bit bitter. I guess I understand in a sense. But how many years ago was that? We're closing in on almost 30 years now, 40 years, something like that. Like, come on, man. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, Bret. Give it up.
Yeah, it's still kind of crazy that we're still talking about this years and decades later, that we're still talking about Hulk Hogan was the downfall of WCW. But I mean, without his heel turn, like arguably probably one of the best heel turns of all time, we don't have heel turns the way they are today, in my opinion. I think he was kind of the pinnacle of a heel turn that kind of shocked everybody. And we've seen multiple of those throughout the years and stuff like that. But he was, I would say, the originator. You know, if there's any old-time wrestling fans out there that something happened before Hulk Hogan, tell me down in the comments. But without the NWO, without Too Sweet, like you said, we don't have the Monday Night Wars. We don't have what built wrestling today, and I think, you know, it's something that had to happen. And ultimately, when you have a big I'm assuming a big ego like Hulk Hogan, and you're the guy, you're the wrestling guy, you're the John Cena, Roman Reigns of that era, you know, you can do whatever you want. And that's kind of what happened between him and Eric Bischoff, and that's what ultimately led to the downfall of WCW. But Bret Hart also said today about Shawn Michaels. He said, I wish that none of that bad history that we had ever happened. I wish I'd never left for WCW because I probably wouldn't have had a stroke and I probably wouldn't have had to wrestle Bill Goldberg. I mean, that is a crazy quote coming out of Bret Hart there, saying that if he didn't go to WCW, he probably wouldn't have had a stroke. And it's also great to see that him and Shawn have squashed the beef. I mean, he says they've been good friends for years as well in this interview, so it's great to hear that. But, you know, he's still caught up on Bill Goldberg, Brady.
Yeah, I mean, geez, like a bad relationship gone wrong and an ex-boyfriend caught up on an old lover or something, man. My God, how long has it been? The same amount of time as it's been since the WCW. And poor old Bret Hart is still airing out the dirty laundry that he got with Bill Goldberg. Now, look, I'll be the first person to say Bret Hart is a much better wrestler than Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg was a character. Bret Hart was the real deal. And there's no doubt about that. So, I mean, do I think he should be bitter? Absolutely not. It's been decades, like you said. Just let it go, man. You'll feel a lot better. Maybe that's why you had a stroke in the first place, because how aggressively you hate Bill Goldberg. But, we love you, Bret. But, cut it out.
It's crazy that decades later, this is still weighing on his mind. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about how removed we are, and he's still talking about Bill Goldberg and WCW. But I feel like Bret has a lot of regret that he left. Like he said, he wish he never left, because if he didn't leave, he could have been as big of a star as Shawn Michaels. I mean, arguably, you could make that point now, but I think he would have had a better career path if he had to stay with the WWF, WWE, because it just makes sense, because he was that guy, man. He was Bret the Hitman Hart. He was just the best Canadian wrestler. I mean, us as Canadians, I mean...
Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
We grew up loving Bret Hart and what he done, what the Hart Foundation done for wrestling in Canada, especially, and it's... obviously breaks my heart to see that he left, and now it's still weighing on him today. Like, he kind of needs to find a way to kind of, put this away and kind of, let this all come to an end, because it's not good having that stuff on your mind all the time. But we love you, Bret, and we love seeing these wacky comments come out of you all the time, because we know you're good for a few. But we're going to get into the second topic of the video today, which is Joe Hendry coming to Scotland. I mean, Brady, this will be absolutely insane. And as we've seen here on Twitter, Drew McIntyre posted after... the TNA crossover with NXT where Jordan Grace came over, he said the doors open both ways, with a picture of him with the TNA title when he left to go to TNA. And guess who replied? I guess you can make a guess. It's Joe Hendry. He posted this crazy photo of him waving out the window or hand on the glass with a cutout of Drew McIntyre's face. I mean, all-time tweet from Joe Hendry there. And a lot of people are speculating from this that, Joe Hendry, he's a Scottish-born wrestler. He's from Scotland. He's got a lot of heat right now with this theme song topping #1 on the UK chart, surpassing Taylor Swift, which is unreal accomplishment for Joe Hendry. But I mean, a lot of people are speculating that it's his hometown in Scotland. We just seen this crossover with Jordan Grace. Maybe we'll see it with Joe Hendry. And Brady, I can just picture it now. Drew McIntyre wins the world title, and he never gets to celebrate. Last time CM Punk came in and cost him the championship, and this time he's gonna win. The crowd's gonna go crazy in Scotland for that. And then what do we hear? Say his name, and he appears. Joe Hendry comes out and just steals the whole momentum out of the building and just shifts it into his direction. And I think it would just be great to see a Joe Hendry, Drew McIntyre, two Scottish-born wrestlers have a nice feud within the WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree with you there. And if you guys don't know who Joe Hendry is, the best way I could describe him is that he's a mix. He's a mix of Max Caster on the mic, and he got that Elias thing going with the guitar. He's spitting the disses out, and he's playing away. And I mean, phenomenal. And he got great style as well, Joe Hendry. But if you guys haven't seen the video of him dissing Top Dollar, I would certainly recommend going to check that out. It made my day when I seen it. You'll get a good laugh out of it for sure. But even if Joe Hendry shows up for one match on this one night and is put up to it by CM Punk just to keep the trolling antics going, oh, you're not allowed to celebrate because here comes Joe Hendry. I think it would be hilarious. It would be awesome, and the crowd would pop. And I know you would pop too, and you're going to be in that crowd, and I can't wait to see it.
Dude, I would lose it, man. I don't know what I would do if I heard that theme song after Drew wins the title, man. I would just be so happy, because Joe Hendry is one of my favorite wrestlers right now who is not in WWE. I think he's probably my favorite wrestler who's not in WWE, and that's saying something. I just think his personality, the promos he does, the theme song, the silk shirt he has clapping his hands in the theme song music video is so good. I mean, he's such a great personality, great in the ring, great on the mic. We need him in WWE. Come on, Triple H. We need Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Brady believes in Joe Hendry, so let's make it happen. I think if there's any time for this to happen, it's in almost a week's time. I can't believe it. At Clash at the Castle, Scotland, in his home country. Just makes complete sense, and I love this theory. I love Joe Hendry. We want to see him at Clash at the Castle. We want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Joe Hendry is going to appear at Clash at the Castle, Scotland? Let us know down below in the comment section. And what do you think about Bret Hart and the comments he said about WCW? We love reading through your comments and seeing what your guys' thoughts and everything are. So make sure to go down and leave them. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to James. James says, I played this game with my son talking about our guest wrestler shorts we've been doing, and he said, it's not as easy as you guys make it look at times. And I mean, Brady, it's not easy at all. I mean, like saying that he says we make it look easy is kind of crazy, because when we're sitting here, we're kind of thinking, what questions do we ask? We're in a 60-second time crunch to guess the wrestler. It's so hard, especially, you know, when, it's Ric Flair and you're there guessing Ricky the Dragon Steamboat looking like a fool. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's so fun, and I just love doing them for you guys on the Shorts channel.
Yeah, I love doing them too. I mean, they are a lot of fun. I'm glad that you had the chance to do Guess the Wrestler with your son and realize how difficult it really is when you're guessing a superstar like Alexa Bliss, and the person on the other and the wrestler on the other person's mind is like the honky tonk man, and you got 60 seconds and you're like, oh, Money in the Bank, world title, WCW run, wrestle in the 80s, time's up.
Yeah.
Final guess. Joe Hendry. Appreciate your comment. Appreciate all the support, guys, that you give us on this channel. Leave a comment on this video, and maybe you'll be featured in the next comment of the day.
Yeah, it means a lot for the support you guys show us. And, don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm going to give a little shameless plug to Brady here. He just dropped his first EP with his band. This band's called Disguised with Intent on Spotify, Apple Music. The album's called Voir Dire. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Voir Dire, baby.
Yeah,
Voir
Dire. So make sure to go check it out, because, it's his first EP. It's pretty good in my opinion. So go down and make sure to stream it, man. It really mean the world to us to see you guys go over to that. I mean, that would just be insane. But if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the way to, how many subscribers are we on the way to now? 3,000 subscribers?
3K.
Oh my god, I can't believe that we're almost there, man. It's crazy to believe.
Know,
but
dude.
if you want to keep up to date on everything around the wrestling world, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, so this video gets pushed out to all the wrestling fans who want to get tapped in on the Joe Hendry lore here. And make sure to leave a comment. You might be featured on the next comment of the day. But if you want to check out a video we did yesterday, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Brady. We'll catch you in the next one.